Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday morning, September 16th. Probably the coolest air mass of the season right here, right now in the Mid-Atlantic region. Low temperatures this morning, bottomed out in the low 50s in many areas just to the north and west of the big cities. Another comfortable dry day here in the Mid-Atlantic region, and it has been quite dry for the last several weeks. We finally have a decent chance of some significant rainfall, however, for the second half of the weekend into the early part of next week. May ruin some outdoor plans for Sunday, but a lot of people are going to welcome this rainfall event, as again it has been quite dry here in the I-95 corridor for the last several weeks. Could get some shower and thunderstorm activity as early as Saturday night, especially later Saturday night, more likely on Sunday and Sunday night into the early part of Monday, as a slow-moving cold frontal system works its way through the region, and some moisture from Tropical Storm Julia down off the southeast coastline could actually get sucked up into this approaching cold frontal system, and it could enhance the rainfall amounts along the east coast. We'll focus in on the tropics first here before we get to the local weather situation. This is the latest visible satellite image of the Atlantic Ocean region, the western Atlantic, from the Penn State E-Wall site. First of all, here is Tropical Storm Julius, just meandering off the coastline. Sustained winds at about 40 miles per hour. It hangs around for the next couple of days, and that is always a problem whenever the tropical system hangs around over warm waters. You have to pay close attention to it, especially this time of the year, which is the climatological peak for tropical activity. Some of the moisture could actually get intertwined with this advancing cold frontal system later in the weekend, the early part of next week, and it could enhance the rainfall amounts. As it stands, we do have the possibility of some heavy rainfall in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, Saturday night, Sunday night into early Monday with this slow-moving cold frontal system. Again, it's the first chance in quite a while for some decent rainfall here in the I-95 corridor. Way off to the north and east, right up in here, this blob of clouds right here is Tropical Storm Ian. It is continuing to move into the North Atlantic, will not have any impact on the U.S. Eventually it could have an impact on Iceland as it goes farther and farther to the north. Meanwhile, one final look at the tropics. This is in the eastern part of the Atlantic Ocean. This is Carl. It has now become a tropical storm. It very likely will become a hurricane over the next several days, continue to move in a westerly fashion. This is the west coast of Africa right here. Yet another wave sitting right along the west coast of Africa. Carl will have to be watched again in about 5 days or so. It'll be closing in on the Caribbean Sea, the Bahamas region here. Perhaps not quite that far west, but it will have to be watched. Eventually it'll start turning to the northwest and then to the north and northeast. The question is, how close can it come to the U.S. East Coast, and we'll monitor that over the next several days. Again, this will not become a factor for at least another 5 days or so, and then we'll really be paying close attention to it. But it has strengthened overnight and it is now Tropical Storm Carl. So 3 separate tropical storms in the Atlantic right now. Julia just off the southeast U.S. coastline, Ian way up in the North Atlantic, and Carl way out in the eastern Atlantic. Well, let's get back to the local weather situation, and again I wanted to emphasize that we have a good chance for some significant rainfall later this weekend and the early part of next week, the first kind of chance in several days here in the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to New York City. This is NOAA's weather forecast for precipitation amounts, the total amounts over the next 5 days between this morning, Friday morning, and Wednesday morning. And they have a good forecast here, in my opinion. Here, quite a bit of rainfall, as much as 2 inches plus in portions of south central, southeastern Pennsylvania, half an inch or more across the Delmarva Peninsula, all the way up to New York City. Again, some decent rainfall, perhaps even a soaking rain event coming the latter part of the weekend into the early part of next week. Could get some rain as early as later Saturday night, more likely Sunday night into early Monday. Well, let's walk through the GFS forecast model run for the weekend. This is from last night's 0Z model run. We're starting off here with the 48-hour forecast for Saturday evening. At this time, we have lots of greens here showing up across the Ohio Valley into the western parts of Pennsylvania, Western Virginia, and Maryland. Again, there can be some shower or thunderstorm activity moving into the immediate I-95 corridor late Saturday night, more likely on Sunday and Sunday night. Also notice here, this is Tropical Storm Julia at this time, Saturday evening, with a lot of moisture sitting right off the Carolina coastline associated with Julia. All of these maps, by the way, from tropicaltidbits.com. Let's now move ahead. This is 6 hours later, the middle of the night, just after midnight, early Sunday morning. That shower and thunderstorm activity here represented by the greens here, moving ever closer to the I-95 corridor. Julia still meandering off the southeast U.S. coastline. Then by Sunday morning, still impressive look to the moisture pattern associated with Julia. Some greens now moving into the I-95 corridor. Let's keep moving forward here. By Sunday afternoon, still lots of moisture here sitting right off the eastern coastline, and a cold frontal system working its way into the eastern states at this time. Some shower and thunderstorm activity likely at this time in the I-95 corridor. Let's keep moving forward. Still some activity here, and Julie just sitting there and spinning there. It's pretty much in this location right now this morning, Friday morning, and this is now Sunday evening, still sitting there and spinning. Lots of moisture sitting right off the East Coast as this front slowly works its way through. Could be some heavy rainfall at this time, Sunday evening. Let's keep moving forward. Still some rainfall right up and down the I-95 corridor late Sunday night, early Monday morning. Julia and its moisture right there along the East Coast. Finally, Monday morning, same situation here with lots of precipitation in the form of rain, showers, and thunderstorms still along the I-95 corridor early Monday morning. And there's Julia with its moisture starting to get wrapped into this whole system. Let's keep moving forward, and finally it starts to show some signs of pushing off, but it is a slow-moving frontal system. Combine that with some moisture along the East Coast with Julia, and indeed it could turn out to be a significant rain event in portions of the eastern states, including the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City metro region. So finally a chance for some significant rainfall later this week and into the early part of next week. Lots of tropical activity as well to monitor over the next several days. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.